Hi everyone, I'm Eloy from Knowledge Sharing Tech. In this video, I'll be comparing two well-known studio monitors. On my left, I have the tried and true PreSonus Eris E3.5, and on my right, I have the new kid on the block, the Edifier MR4. In my video, I'll be covering the following topics. I'll be talking about the build quality of the speakers. I'll be talking also about the specifications, the controls, and the connections of these speakers. And most importantly, I'll be performing a sound test. And I'm gonna tell you what speaker would I choose for myself and for what reasons. So let's start with the build quality. About the build quality, the Eris 3.5 is smaller than the MR4. It is shorter, it is narrower, and also it is less deep than the MR4. And the Eris 3.5 is built from plastic, whereas the MR4 is built from wood. And wood is much better than plastic because it doesn't resonate. And the MR4 is really heavier than the Eris 3.5. But for the assembly, both speakers are really very well assembled. So let me show you the Eris 3.5 up close. You see that there are no faults anywhere in the assembly. Everything is well assembled. One thing I didn't like about the Eris 3.5 is that these padded feet come separate and you have to assemble them yourself. Whereas on the Edifier MR4, the padded feet are pre-installed. And also the MR4 is really well assembled. There are no faults anywhere assembly-wise. One thing also worth mentioning is that the Edifier MR4, you can purchase it in white color, whereas the PreSonus Eris comes only in black. Cable-wise, both speakers come with all required cables. Let me show you the cables that come with the Eris 3.5. So you have the speaker connecting cable. This is 2 meters. You have the 3.5 millimeter cable. So this is 3.5 to 3.5. This is 1.5 meters. You have an RCA to 3.5 millimeter cable. And this is also a 1.5 meter cable. And you have the power cable that is detachable. And this is very good. Now let me show you the cables that come with the MR4. So the MR4, first for the power cable, it has a power cable that is attached to the speaker, so you cannot change it. And it has these 3 cables. So this is a speaker connecting cable. It is 2 meters. And this is RCA to 3.5 millimeter. It is 1.7 meters, so it is a bit longer than the cable that comes with the Eris 3.5. And this is the 3.5 millimeter to 3.5 millimeter cable, and it is also 1.7 meters, so it's a bit longer than the cable that comes with the PreSonus Eris 3.5. Let me talk now about the connections for each speaker. So these are the active speakers here in front of you. Let me start with the PreSonus Eris. So on the back of the speaker, you have this TRS input, which is a balanced input. You have an RCA input also, which is an unbalanced input. And on the front of the speaker, you have 2 connections. The first one is the auxiliary in. So this is to connect, for instance, your smartphone. And this is headphones out connection also. For the controls of the PreSonus Eris, you have on the front, this is a volume control, and this is the on-off button. And the volume control is really small, so it is a bit hard to manipulate. And on the back of the speaker, you have 2 knobs here, and the first knob is for the highs, and the second knob here is for the lows. So this is treble and this is bass, and they are also a bit small, but they have a stop in the middle, so it is easy to adjust them without looking at them. So let me show you now the connections and the controls on the Edifier MR4. Let me turn the speaker. You have on the back of the speaker a TRS input, which is a balanced input, and you have an RCA input, which is an unbalanced input. On the front of the speaker, you have an auxiliary input here, and this is a headphones jack here. Now let me talk about the controls. You have this knob here on the front of the Edifier MR4s that has 3 functions. The first function is that it turns the speaker on or it turns it off. So one short press, it will turn the speaker on. And this is the LED light here. You notice that it is in green now. It means that the speakers are in music mode. So one short press when they are on, it will turn to red. And this means that the speakers are now in monitor mode. And also it has the function of volume control. To continue on the controls of the MR4, you have treble and bass controls on the back. So the first one is a bass control. It is a very good construction. It is big as opposed to the ones that are on the Eris 3.5, which are very, very small. And it has a stop in the middle, so you can adjust it. So this is for the bass, and this is for the treble. Let me talk now about the specifications of both speakers. The tweeter is the same dimension on both speakers, so it is a 1-inch tweeter. The woofer on the MR4 is a 4-inch woofer, whereas the woofer on the Eris 3.5 is a 3.5-inch woofer. For the frequency response, the MR4 can produce frequencies from 60 Hz to 20 kHz, whereas the Eris 3.5 can produce frequencies only from 80 Hz to 20 kHz, and this is because the woofer is smaller than the woofer on the MR4. Now for the speaker's power, the MR4 is 21 watts times 2, whereas the Eris 3.5 is 25 watts times 2. One functionality that the MR4 has that the Eris doesn't have is the ability to switch between music mode and monitor mode, and this makes the MR4 more versatile. So now let's perform the sound test. For the sound test, I wanted to inform you that the sound test is only to give you an idea about the sound of these speakers, and it cannot be accurate because it travels through many stages before it arrives to you. So it goes through my microphone, it goes through internet compression, and then it goes through your speakers. So let's start now the sound test. Now, what speaker will I be choosing for me? For me, I'll be choosing the Edifier MR4 for the following reasons. First, they have a wider frequency response range, and this shows in the sound they produce, so they have a richer sound, in my opinion, than the sound that is produced in the PreSonus Eris 3.5. The sound in the PreSonus Eris 3.5 is good, but it tends to distort and it becomes busy on high volumes, and especially when there are many instruments playing. The second reason I'll be choosing the MR4s is for their build quality. So they are better built, in my opinion, than the PreSonus Eris 3.5. First, they have a wood enclosure as opposed to the vinyl enclosure in the Eris 3.5, and the controls and the knobs are much better weighted and much better constructed than the ones in the Eris 3.5. And the third and final reason is that because the edifiers also can be used in monitor mode and in music mode. Now, that doesn't mean that the Eris 3.5 are not good monitors. They really are good, and they have good shielding against cell phone frequencies, but for the same price, the Edifier MR4 will give you much more for your money. Now, let me know in the comments section below what speaker will you be choosing and why you choose this speaker over the other. By the way, if you want to check out any of these speakers, I'm going to leave affiliate links in the description below. If you make a purchase using my link, I will gain a small percentage at no cost to you, and this will help my channel greatly. I want to thank you all for watching, and I hope that this video was useful to you. In case it was, please share it, subscribe to my channel, and give this video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And this way, you'll not miss my future videos. I'm Eloy from Knowledge Sharing Tech. I want to thank you all for watching, and see you in the next video.